Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. First, I'd like to say thank you to Melanie and Startup Peel for inviting me to such a wonderful event. It's my privilege to participate and be included with such accomplished, brilliant, and compassionate female visionaries and male allies. This has been an uplifting and encouraging experience for me, and one for which I'm truly grateful. I look forward to the rest of today and tomorrow as well. So today I'd like to share success strategies for women entrepreneurs who are new immigrants to Canada. My aim is to give you practical advice that is proven effective. So this will not be a seminar on how to get a startup visa, for example, although immigration programs may be referenced for illustrative purposes. If anyone is looking for that type of information, then please feel free to go to our website, where you can get a detailed assessment. However, I think it would be more helpful to take this time to share with a wider community some of the important lessons that I've learned from female entrepreneurs who are my clients, my colleagues, mentors, mentees, and friends. This is the information that we usually talk about with each other, so I thought it would be more worthwhile for you. Firstly, please allow me to explain more fully how I gained access to so many formidable international entrepreneurs through my professional and personal lives. To keep things brief, my network developed naturally during my undergraduate studies. I attended Glendon College at York University. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Glendon, it's the bilingual campus of York University. Thus, in addition to the requisite language courses, liberal arts subjects such as political science, computer science, and international relations were taught in both of Canada's official languages. So the campus itself is located at Bayview and Lawrence, which is in the midst of one of the most affluent neighborhoods in Toronto. And I bring this up because both the bilingual focus and the location attracted specific student profiles. So for example, several of my classmates had parents who were diplomats or government officials or international business persons who were successful in their fields, and many of them from the continent of Africa or Europe. Then there were the young people who chose Glendon because it was near their home. And for me, coming from a middle class background, that was the first time that I interacted on a daily basis with people who enjoyed such cosmopolitan lifestyles. I learned so much both inside and outside the classroom about international trade, geopolitics, and the cultural differences between Canada and the rest of the world. Now, fast forward through law school at Queen's University, articling at a mid-sized Bay Street firm, and then opening my own practice. Between you and I, my favorite clients were always the entrepreneurs. Even if they came to me with a contentious matter, it was more often than not still very interesting. And as counsel do, I became familiar with many aspects of how they ran their enterprises while I drafted contracts on their behalf, for example. However, there was the other side of me as well that had envisioned myself a human rights lawyer since I was a child. So I took on immigration files that were difficult and personal, and was quite intimidating, rather, for me as a new lawyer to be responsible for the destinies of those families who had gone through so much already. With each case, I punished myself with little sleep and no peace until I could earn those privileges back with a win. It was a great philosophy for my win rate, but terrible for my longevity. We are told at the beginning of law school that law is not about justice, it's about what is lawful. I never got used to that axiom. We are told at the beginning of law school to maintain a professional distance. Do not allow the clients to wear you out. Although this is true and wise guidance, it was difficult for me to implement on a sustained basis. Plus, I was raised by a Jamaican family. In our culture, we wear hard work, long hours, and huge responsibility like a badge of honor. I was the youngest of three girls. There's about a 13-year difference between my sisters and me. And yes, I was the surprise. So I had seen my two older sisters work late, bring home work, and get promoted. And I was ready to perform similarly. Then, when it came my turn, after about only 2 years, I had to take stock and say, really, I'm not the type of person that can practice law like this. My temperament is highly empathic and I'm very type A. So the price of these wins was too high. And before I could afford to, I stopped the immigration side of my practice. I would like to tell you that just like The Secret, I focused and I chose what I wanted, and clients just came to me. But it didn't happen like that. What did happen, though, was that I had some space to envision the law office that I wanted to build over time. So I did. And I started the practice that I have now, where I work solely with immigrant entrepreneurs and investors seeking permanent resident status in Canada, or a second passport in a few select other countries. And even when my clients stress me out, and if they're watching, they know who they are, it's never unbearable because I enjoy the work so much. And it's not just that I no longer hear stories of torment or abuse on a regular basis. It's that I get to help them in so many aspects of their professional and personal goals. I am their lawyer, but I have written business plans because the client forgot to get around to it, and the meeting with the angel investor was in 2 days. I have suggested improvements on engineering designs. I have contributed my ideas to marketing campaigns. And thankfully, each time that I do, I'm rewarded with my clients' successes. So every time I do get a new client, in my imagination, I become partial and majority owner of a new company. So it's very intellectually stimulating and fun. And I get to help them bring their families to Canada as well, which is the personally touching part. So, anyway, this is where I got the knowledge that I'm going to share with you. Let's begin. So, my presentation is on women immigrant entrepreneurs and keys to success in Canada. There are three parts of the presentation: what to do before you arrive, how to hit the ground running and not trip, and general tips from people who have done it. So before you arrive, I refer to this as the 3 R's: read, research, and reach out. Read as much about Canada as possible from credible sources. Start with the government websites, but go beyond them to get a more objective point of view. The government websites are accurate, but they're publicity for the country, right? So I always suggest that you consult national newspapers and news magazines online. And one good one is also Canadian Immigrant Magazine. Although it is promotional, it's pretty fair and balanced. It gives the pros and cons and the difficulties as well as the joys of coming to Canada. And settlement.org is another good reference website. Those will help you to get a feel for the social and political climate in Canada. You will learn about the important issues of the day, economic news, important political policies, idioms, and even social norms. So the second R is research. You've probably heard about this website already, but Innovation, Science, and Economic Development is a great website to start with. And then McGill University also has a web page that offers different country reports. And these are pretty extensive as well. They're done by the CIA, the BBC, and others. And listen to the CBC online, CBC radio, CBC television, and some really valuable apps that are provided by the Canadian government include Arrive Canada and Canada Business. Excuse me. And if you have children, depending on their ages, why not include them in your research? You know, show them YouTube videos about Canada, have them looking forward to what's about to happen. And the last R, reach out. Reach out to the Trade Commissioner's office of your country and professionals in your industry on LinkedIn. And when you reach out to people on LinkedIn, always remember to include a note to really personalize it. It will give you a higher chance of getting a response back. Secondly, I've seen with my own eyes, and my clients tell me as well, it's best to plan to immigrate together if you have a family. Sometimes entrepreneurs believe it's more practical to forge ahead and then bring the family a little later. But from my perspective, if you have to delay your immigration for a few months to ensure that you bring your whole family, then do that. Even just thinking of the children, parents usually want to do anything to avoid any lingering issues of abandonment later on in life, which does happen. Now, once you've landed in Canada, you want to navigate. The mantra here is network, connect, volunteer. Network with Export Development Canada. Business Women in International Trade is another good resource. And of course, your Trade Commissioner. And it's good to keep connections in your own culture for that familiarity, but never limit yourself to a silo, because different perspectives and new information is very valuable, whether you're a new immigrant or not, just for your progression in life. And the most important common ground that I've found is like-minded people who share values, and they can be found in different cultures as well. Next, connect. Make appointments to meet all those people that you reached out to electronically. And for now, they'll probably be virtual meetings, but hopefully soon they'll be in person. One of your top priorities is to build your social and professional network. If English or French is your second language, dedicate yourself to improving your language skills. This is also very helpful. Connect with your consultants regularly, your lawyers, your accountants, etc., so you can keep up on the latest developments to help you progress. And take care of yourself. Connect with yourself by taking care of yourself. Eat properly, exercise, rest. And volunteering. Volunteering is very important, especially when you're a new Canadian, because even if you can only spare an hour a month, you get so much back from it in terms of connections and even the psychological benefits of doing something that is virtuous for someone else, that it's not related to you or connected to you in any way. Another thing to remember is if it's not in writing in Canada, it doesn't exist. I know that there's some cultures out there, and I share them, that, you say you're going to do something, you shake hands, and it's agreed. But in Canada, that is small talk and negotiation. That is not an agreement. So confirm verbal agreements in writing ASAP. Nothing is real, again, unless it's in writing. And have basic business contracts ready. NDAs are crucial. Now for some general advice, and this is a catch-all, but it was brought up several times with my contacts. The mastery of Canadian style etiquette in professional and personal circles is very important. Canadians are reserved and likely to keep silent if you offend them. However, they will tell their friends and family about you. So if you suspect that you might have stepped on some toes, address it immediately. The best way is with a touch of self-deprecating humor and a quick, sincere apology. No one's perfect, right? And yes, racism does exist in Canada, even though we're a nation of immigrants. It's subtle, right? And it's systemic, unfortunately, but it will not stop you from reaching your goals. And lastly, embrace everything about being Canadian. Your new home is a beautiful, prosperous, friendly, caring nation. And so, as much as possible, enjoy it whenever you can. And my tip is find a winter sport that you like. It will help. Anyway, that's the end of my presentation. And I thank you very much for joining me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of today, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.